Good morning. Oops, we're late. Good afternoon, travelers, interlopers, traders, and farmers, explorers, bounty hunters, pirates, and strange glowing entities. Viking, Korvax, and Gek, may the Atlas allow my voice to fall upon every strange ear, and that this space transmission reaches every galaxy and dimension. This afternoon, we are broadcasting from the Euclid Galaxy, somewhere deep in space. This is the afternoon show on Cobra TV. Call in today and let's make contact. Song you were listening to today is Sign of the Vibration from South London Hi-Fi. We're getting set up here in just a second. By getting set up, I mean eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We got a donation. Oh my God, thank you so much, bro. Hashtag. Hashtag that Cobra. Hashtag the Cobra. I didn't see whose name it was. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to the live broadcast here at Cobra TV. And I would like to apologize to all the Cobros over on Twitter and Facebook. As you see, there is a Cinnamon Toast Crunch picture, and here is the box. I got home, and I'm hungry. I'm super hungry, and there's no cereal in the house. So I panicked, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to start the show soon. So, cereal was so powerful. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch was so powerful. I ended up going to the store and took everybody on Twitter and Facebook on a cereal adventure to get Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Panda Booby says, bro, this song is going to make me rip off my car door and pee on the seat? Is that a good thing? Was that thunder? Ooh, did you guys hear that? Thunder. Let me get this cereal box off the screen here. Gone. Thank you guys for coming back to another live broadcast of Cobra TV. Now that we have our act together, and we can't call this a morning show anymore, so I do apologize for starting so late. I needed some cereal, and that was quite of an adventure. And no, I'm not paid by Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm not paid by General Mills. I am, it's just my favorite cereal ever. Grammy's in the chat, and we've got Hidden Jew and Vera Coates. You are Godsmack. What's up? We've got Jack Gall. Guys, what's going on? All right, so today's the first round of Where. Today's the first round of us talking about Where. With every step of the ARG, there seems to be a divide, no matter what it is. And this one's kind of comical. It's not toxic, but it's the people that are like, oh, there's VR. There's not VR. There's VR. There's not VR. Now, I'm on the fence. I'm like right in the middle. Yes, I get it. I get where everybody is seeing the connection to VR. You know, with Morpheus, you know, we did a video a long time ago showing proof that Hello Games had was working with VR. This is back a long time ago when my videos were really, really, really weird and bad. I was wearing a mask and stuff, and I showed pictures and proof. It was called Project Morpheus back then. Showed it sitting around the studio next to the developers' computers and things like that. What's up, Danny? How you doing, buddy? Oh my gosh. Thank you, Mr. V. Multigrain Pasta. What's going on, dude? Got you on during work, he says. Murph. Okay, so, all right, let's get back to, I see the connections. Do not get me wrong. I see the strong connections to VR when it comes to Where. And I see a lot of people 100% convinced that it's VR. 100% convinced. And you know, I don't know. I want to talk about a few things today, and I want you know what? I'm gonna hold back my opinion and about whether if Where equals VR. And I want you to give your opinion today on the show. So if you've never called into the show before, look down in the description and you should see a Skype LpoLi1622. That's LpoLi1622. Add me on Skype. Send the number 1 so I know you want to get pulled on the show, and I'll pull you on the show. And you can tell me what your opinion is. And then I will tell you what my opinion is before this is over, before this the subcast is over. This is going to be the shorter one of the longer one that we're going to have today. The much longer one is going to be tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And since I'm not going to be eating any cereal that late, maybe I will be. But it's not going to cause me to be late because we've already got it. It's already in the house. That's if I don't eat it all before then. But I got backup. So don't worry about that. So come on the show today and talk to me about Wear. Talk to me about your opinion on VR. No fighting, because tell you the truth, none of us know. None of us know whether it's going to have VR or not. I think there's too much talk with VR. When they said, we'll get into that. It's exciting. I get it. It's exciting to want to have VR and Wear. But we got to be careful and look at things that are, this ARG. I don't even know what to say. All right. As far as VR, the public is going to be the talking piece today. Tonight, I'm going to do a little bit more thinking about things that you guys come on the show and say. And I will give my official opinion tonight after I do a little bit more looking, because I think you guys know where my stance is when it comes to Wear. I jumped all over the VR thing in the beginning. And the more I looked into it, the more I just started learning new things. And but I think you guys know where my stance is. But I want you to come on, voice your opinion about it, and then we'll talk about some other things too. Okay, we'll talk about other things that are going on with Wear, like the survey that we just took yesterday. I was told that Allison Smith was going to be at the GDC. What is super interesting is that somebody says Wear new VR for Xbox One. I don't think so. They wouldn't do a secret release like this. Microsoft, they'd be blasting it. We would have known about it for years, and it would have been at several different E3s. They wouldn't be doing such a silent release of such a device. So Wear is 100% fiction. It's fiction. It's fake. It's fake. It's for the AR. The ARG. Whew. That's first and foremost that we have to understand about Wear. It is part of the ARG. What comes after that is there's clues in there. I think Wear is more than just the ARG. But I was told from Allison Smith that they were going to be at GDC, right? Well, when we took that survey, one of the questions that was on there, and I think I'll put it up on the screen here in a second. Heck with it. Let's do it now. Let me get something switched around here. And then I want to talk about the step. There's a very, very good way to look at Sean Murray's words here. And we're going to take a look at Sean Murray's words and the usage of the word step. All right. I'm going to go ahead and throw this on the screen. All right, so here we go. We've got Wear. This is the type form, the survey that we all took yesterday. So let's go ahead and let's go through this. What is the name of your studio? Okay. Cobra TV. How many people are on your team? I don't work. 32,400 and what is it? 48? Is that how many Cobras are on board? Okay, so let's hit okay. Oh gosh, we can only do 5,000. All right, so only 5,000 lucky Cobras are part of the knowledge of Wear at the moment. What type of game do you want to bring to Wear? Kobo Force. All right. Do you have a publisher? Nah, we don't. What platform is your game currently on? Ah, it's not on a game. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick one. Since Xbox is the new talk of the town and is finally getting released onto Xbox One, let's go ahead and choose Xbox One. Oh, you can choose as many as you like. Now let's celebrate Xbox. Where are you in development? We are in alpha stage, right? Did you see a private demonstration of our platform at GDC? That's the strange thing, okay? This is where it's part of Waking Titan, no doubt. We can say that with 100% confidence. This is part of Waking Titan. It's the same type form. It's the same type of survey. This is Waking Titan. So, with that said, Allison Smith was at GDC. I know this for 100% fact. We couldn't figure out why they were going. Are they going to talk to developers, to set up business partnerships, to run ARGs for their video games? Are they just, passing out business cards? What are they doing there? I couldn't come up with anything. And most common sense answer was they're just going to talk to devs to try and get future customers out of some of these devs for ARGs. But now I see, did you see a private demonstration of our platform at GDC? Ah, okay. That's the big ticker right there. I'm gonna say yes. Yes. Why do you want to port your game to our platform? For the sake of celebration of the majority here that think where is VR, we're gonna type in VR. What are the killer features you see Wear giving your games? What are the killer features? Ooh. It's good. You're going to put this device on your head, this Wear device, this Wear head, whatever they call it, and it's going to freaking drill a hole into your brain and start sucking out the brain matter. What are the killer features you see Wear giving your game? For the sake of the celebration of the general opinion in this chat VR, who is your primary contact? Sean Murray. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it wants a hang on a second. All right, now let's go back. There we go. Hello Games just registered for Wear. All right. So you guys see the question. Oh my gosh. You guys seen the question? An app, but it's evil. You were right, Vortex Games. You are right. What's up, JC Rules? How you doing? Okay, we're going to be taking calls here for a second. It's not VR. Sean said it. It's the update is free to existing players. You see, I already did explore. I put my email in last night. That's why I went ahead and put Hello Games in there. They're gonna get an email. They're gonna be like, wait, why are we playing Waking Titan? Why did we just get a free copy of Sword and Shield or Late for Work or whatever it is? Why? Oh, Multigrain Pasta, thank you so much, dude. You're such a Cobra, man, and thank you, EasyG, for letting me know. I have got to get Streamlabs set up on this OBS. It used to be on there. Multigrain Pasta, thank you so much, buddy. You're a Cobra. All right. I want to go ahead and start. I want to talk about the word step. And then after I talk about the word step, it's definitely Wear. That's how it's spelled on their website. Going crazy with that moves, Cobra. Without a third party pushing them, is Hello Games even interested in VR? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so VR is definitely a big topic. I just want to state, and maybe you guys could change my mind. I just want to state this. I do. I don't think there's VR coming at this moment. Not with Next. I don't. And I can explain why if you want to come on the show and ask me why. And if you disagree with me, please come on the show because I want to hear I want to hear why. I want to hear your opinion. Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about the word step. Okay, with Sean Murray, he's used it. He used it last year, and he used it again this year. So let's go ahead and go over. Yes, I do think the universe is going to be reset. I think this update is going to be so significant. You have no idea. All right. So 100% the universe. Yeah. All right. Let's go back to this screen here. All right. So we're going to go into. Let me page my producer real fast. Producer, can I please get a cup of coffee? Thank you. Please forgive me. You're amazing. You need a raise. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the word step. Let me see. Where's my screens? All right, so last year when we got Atlas Rises, you guys remember that? That huge update, the biggest one. They said it was the biggest one of all so far. So let's go ahead and read the latter portion of this blog post here from Sean Murray. I think you guys could see the screen. Okay, so we're going to be reading this part right here. Glitches in the simulation visualized by strange floating orbs allow players to see and communicate with up to 16 other travelers and explore the universe together. While interaction with others is currently very limited, this is an important first step into the world of synchronous co-op in No Man's Sky. The first step. Now, if we go over and take a look at what they said in their new blog post for Next, we called our upcoming update Next because it's an important next step on a longer journey for us and the community. So we had the first step with the glitches, and now we're on to the next step. Now, I'm probably connecting dots like everybody connecting dots with the VR. I am. I get it. But I really think that this update is going to heavily focus around multiplayer, which is another thing that is on the Wear site that is heavily influenced and heavily talked about is multiplayer. Massive multiplayer. All over Wear. Everywhere on Wear. So that's what I wanted to present to you. The first step was right here. This is an important first step into the world of synchronous co-op in No Man's Sky. We called our upcoming update Next because it is an important next step on a longer journey for us and the community. So they're using the word community. It's also interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and start taking callers now. Let's go ahead. Well, first, let me go ahead and check out the chat. All right. So for an amazing, giant new update, they can reset all they want. Is that rain? Is it raining out, producer? We are in a major storm. Major. Warning, incoming storm. I have no Let's see. I like your thinking, Jack. Variation, more space. If multiplayer lets us trade, I'll be very happy. So will I. I think Hello Games are very careful how they word things and messages to us. I think you're right to examine each and every word at Cobra TV. And see, the thing is, that's not part of Waking Titan. You know, that those are direct messages to us, the consumer. So I really think that those are things that we could actually read into that are addressed to us rather than looking at a device that can make us go into some dream, still get our sleep, but play a game and be conscious of the game. So I don't know. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to open up the lines here. And I promised some of my viewers that if I was smoking a cigarette, that I would keep the camera off while I'm smoking a cigarette, because there's some parents that said, "Hey, that we really enjoy watching you with your kids, or watching you with our kids, and you could do whatever you want." They're so nice about it, right? They're like, you could do whatever you want to your channel, but we were wondering if you could not smoke on the screen, and no shade toward them at all. I mean, I love the fact that kids are watching the channel, and they're right. You know, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. So I got the screen turned off so I can smoke a cigarette. I messed up that word, didn't I? I'm going to go ahead and get it on some people piled onto the show. So if you want to come on the show, send me the number one. Add me on Skype. Send me the number one, and I'll get you pulled on. So let's check the Skype board here. Hidden Panda, what's going on, dude? How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, dude. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much, man. Nothing much. So were you watching the show?
Oh, yeah. And thank you for reading my comment earlier, by the way. That made me laugh so hard.
What's that? Which one?
About ripping the car door off.
Oh, yeah.
I like to say weird things.
So what do you think about the first step, and now we're on the next step?
Yeah, like you said, Sean Murray, he chooses his words very carefully. And I think that we're looking at a lot of things coming. Predominantly, I think multiplayer on like a I don't know, but it's definitely hinting towards a stronger multiplayer element, and a lot of other things as well. Okay.
Yeah, I agree too. I really think that there's going to be hub integration. You know, I'm going to put my bet in. I really do, because he says, you know, the way he words it, this is a longer journey, longer than what we've already been on so far. And it's the next step to a longer journey for them and the community. So that doesn't sound like a normal update. You know what I mean? That sounds like community involvement. That, you know, that community is the word there. That means, okay, us together as a community, we're going to be working together on something with Hello Games.
And I did want to talk to you about the hub integration, because I don't know if you saw the post for 505 Games on Amazon. It shows a release date of July 31st. Obviously, that can change, but if
I'll raise you one better. I'll raise you one better. Okay. Usually that's a placeholder date when they go to the last day of the month. Okay. So let's say they know the target is probably July, but they don't know what date. So they'll put the date at the very last day. Okay. Of the month. So it'll be 31st. Now, GameStop is showing a pre-order with a release date of July 24th.
Oh, wow.
So that's not a typical placeholder date, because it's not the last day of the month. So that's the one that stuck out to me, July 24th.
No, I definitely, that excites me. I definitely agree. And even still, like if you look at the description that they place on the game, going back to hub integration, I think it proves your point, because there's a lot of call outs to essentially all the different dimensions or galaxies or whatever being sort of unified because it says that everybody's in the same galaxy. And I think that's really important. Like if you actually go to that Amazon post and read the description, I think there's a lot of clues there, like a lot of clues.
Darth Trayton. I'm going to play a clip here for you here pretty soon. He says, here we go again. The great hype for multiplayer all over again, because that went great for the game's launch. So they didn't really have plans for actual multiplayer. He said we could see each other, and that's it. And, every time he was asked by multiplayer in all the interviews, he tried to dismiss it. This is not a multiplayer game. There's no deathmatch. There's plenty of other games that do that. Go play them. And the quote that he had with GameSpot unveiling the next big game, No Man's Sky, he actually said there are plans for more traditional multiplayer later on down the road. And he wasn't ready to talk about it, but they were really excited about it. And here we are later down the road. But he said that's not what the game's about at the moment and when it ships. So
he also said at the beginning, when the game ships, that it was important that the player felt alone.
Right.
And so I think that a large part of that was intentional from Hello Games, that everybody would be spread out, they would feel alone, because it was important to the feel of the game, I guess.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put up the picture of GameStop's pre-order. Let me see here. It is right here. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to put it on screen. Wrong button. Okay, there we go. No Man's Sky, Xbox One, release date, 7/24/2018, $49.99. So $50. And are you there, Panda?
Oh yeah. I'm listening.
Okay. What's really strange about this too is the touting of the features that are in No Man's Sky, the features that everyone who's outside of the community barks at, as far as missing features or watered down or incomplete. This right here says a mystery lies at the center of the galaxy. Boom, right there. That starts off with that. Everybody knows what's at the center. That's the most poked at and made fun of thing for No Man's Sky haters. And the irresistible pulse that draws you on an epic voyage to discover the true nature of the cosmos. Your journey will be charged with danger, encountering hostile creatures and fierce planets. In order to survive, you will need to prepare, upgrading your ship, suit, and weapons. Whether you choose to fight, trade, explore, or every decision you make has a consequence, shaping your journey as you travel ever deeper into No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is an epic science fiction adventure set across an infinite universe in which every star, and then just kind of disappears after that. So that's risky, because Microsoft knows what the World Wide Web thought about when it came to that release. Remember?
Yep.
So I really think that we're in for a big surprise with this update, because I really think that those words are going to hold a lot of stars. They're going to hold a lot of space.
There's a couple of call-ups that were made in there that, like you said, that Hello Games is well aware are big points of contention for a lot of people. Like, for example, nothing happens at the center of the galaxy. That's why a lot of people choose to stay in Euclid. So why would they mention that if they know that's the sore spot? They probably reevaluated what going to the center is. They talked about, in that description, it goes on to say that each star is each point of light in the sky is a star that has planets that orbit around the sun.
Right.
Well, we know that currently the solar systems that you visit are skyboxes, that the star is not an attainable position in space, and that the planets, in fact, do not rotate around it. But yet, they make this statement in that description. So it's like, I think that we're getting that, like we're getting the multiplayer aspect. I think that they've sort of found a way that they can load in the systems where you can seamlessly travel between, places, and that the stars are at the center. Like, I think that they've got all that worked out. I think that they're making these statements very intentionally, like you said, like it's obvious.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Because everybody knows, like, I don't know if there's I can't remember the name of the channel now, but it's called like Very Good Gaming or something like that. But they were talking about how Sean Murray has started using words like surprise players or exciting, and that he should stop using these words. And it really kind of upset me. Like, the video overall was fair, but that particular statement like made me upset because, one, the game is launching on Xbox. There are a company, they have families that these people have to be paid to feed their families, support themselves. So Sean Murray is the face of the company and has to sell the game. So obviously he's going to use words like that to be able to sell the game. But Sean Murray is also self-aware that that hype and all that stuff led to problems with the PlayStation 4 release because people not understanding the features that he's discussing. So why would he then do it a second time as if he hasn't learned from his mistakes? I don't think that this is the same game that we're getting on this next update. I think that this...
It's scary to say that, right? It's scary to say that out loud, especially when you're broadcasting to people. It's scary to say that. But I really feel like you're right. I mean, yeah. That's the whole time I'm sitting here thinking that. I do want to get your opinion before we start pulling some more people on the show. What do you think about the whole VR thing? I want to get your opinion. If you think it's coming, then I'm not going to try and convince you it's not.
Well, you said last night on your video to do your homework. So I started doing some homework.
Okay.
And although I'm hopeful that all of this is hinting at VR, I am less convinced of it now because when I look up the copyright, the copyright was filed this year, specifically for the purposes of that website. A company that you've never heard of with funding that isn't disclosed, who got a copyright this year, in no way is going to have VR hardware for a game system that, like for example, Microsoft with Windows PC and all that is pretty in bed with HTC Vive and Oculus Rift. I don't think that they're going to come out with a third-party solution that is being advertised that isn't at least to Oculus Rift. So I don't think that it's going to be VR. And you said something that made a lot more sense. What if it's a box where you can stream all these like different indie games, and that this is part of the ARG, but once the ARG is over, that it basically turns into something else? Like, does that make sense? Like, for example, the eTart website was established just for the ARG, and once that portion of the ARG was over, it converted to CSD, right?
Right.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen, is that where is set up just for these purposes during the ARG. Once that portion is over, it'll turn into something else. Maybe Hello Labs, maybe something different. But they keep talking about all these different indie games. There's all these different indie games on their websites that have the Wear logo. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I just want to read it before it goes away. DZ LE66. The Wear headset is just a catalyst for inducing multiplayer. I agree. Trust me. I want to state that I do want I do want VR. I do. How cool. I mean, who would not want VR? But I think Dizzle66 is right, because there's so much multiplayer talk in there, and it plays around with the lore. I think that the Wear headset, because it says it's post VR, so this is technology that is beyond Oculus, it's beyond PSVR, it's beyond all that. This is technology that doesn't use a screen; it uses your own mind as a computer, and I really feel like the lore is going to play in. It's part of the No Man's Sky lore that we get stuck inside this headset, or we go into this headset, and that's how we are in the No Man's Sky universe. That's how we're there. That's how we become travelers. That's what I'm getting out of the English version of this website.
Well, also a lot of the talk about Morpheus, right? Not only in Greek mythology is Morpheus the god of dreams, but Morpheus was the code name for PlayStation VR. So I see how people make that connection. But at the same time, Morpheus was also a character from the Matrix. And Morpheus was the one who brought Neo out of the Matrix, right? To show him the real world. And so I think the whole entire world of the Matrix was a simulation that was so realistic that people couldn't tell the difference. And that there was these human beings that were trapped in the Matrix. And Morpheus was essentially freeing them and bringing them back to the real world. So I think that there's a lot of different ways that you can take the Morpheus clue.
Right.
And VR is just one of them. But I think it has more to do with dreams, because all the clues are REM sleep, dreams. You know, you put a mirror on your face and fall asleep and you wake up in your dreams. Like, all these different things are about dreams, not VR.
Right.
And No Man's Sky is a simulation. So
Darth Trenton says, but there's more than one developer that's, supporting this or backing it or something like that. And I see that. But these are also developers that are being followed by Allison Smith. Now, the strange thing, and I will admit, the strange thing is the sharing on social media, like at Elon Musk, at IFNL Science, and the way that some of these developers are displaying them at the bottom of their websites. And it's almost like, okay, so like Make Sale. If you're a fan of Make Sale and you happen to go to Pop Cannibal and you see this logo at the bottom, you're essentially, if you're Pop Cannibal, you're essentially trolling your consumers because it's not real, and they're not part of the ARG, and it wouldn't be beneficial to try and get that Make Sale consumer interested in the ARG because they just want to play Make Sale. That's the part that confuses me. That's the part that is just so strange. That the social media impact that their impression that they're leaving with where. That's the confusing part about. I'm going to go ahead and get some more callers on here. Okay, we're going to add two people. We're going to add John, and we're going to add Grammy.
Hello.
Hey, John, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm great, man. I'm great. It's awesome to have you back on the show today.
Well, thanks.
So, kind of want to talk about two things. About two of the major topics with next is VR and multiplayer. I want to get your opinion on the point that I made with First Step for Atlas Rises and Next Step for Next, as far as multiplayer goes. And then, but first I want to get your opinion on VR. Where do you stand with Wear and VR?
So I'm about 80 to 90% on the side that VR is coming. And I have reason for believing that. All right. So they've been hinting at this Wear thing, and it's beyond VR and all that. But the way it comes into the next, the way it pops in to the next reveal trailer, the teaser, is like really telling, because we know that it's supposed to be like this crazy, ultra realistic virtual reality experience. And they also ask in parts of the ARG, they're like, well, what would you like to see on Wear? And they're like, okay, what do you want to see on our virtual reality system? And No Man's Sky is confirmed based on that teaser to be on Wear. So to me, that's them saying this is coming to VR. And also, the Xbox not having VR on it, I think that Hello Games wouldn't allow that to stop them from putting it on VR. But I also think the possibility of Xbox announcing VR support, that could come this year, because they've been talking about that since like 2016. We thought that the Xbox One X was going to launch with VR support. It didn't. They were kind of quiet about it, probably because they had to sort out, the whole deal with Oculus and all that. Not really sure how they were going to actually implement VR without, producing their own gear. So I think there's a high possibility the reason why, Microsoft would put so much force behind No Man's Sky at launch would be because if they were launching VR support this year, then No Man's Sky would be the perfect game to sell VR on the Xbox One X.
But wouldn't you think that Microsoft would have been touting about showing their version of VR like the way Sony did with PSVR back in the day? It was called Oculus. We got so many pictures of it, so many demonstrations of it.
That's true. I think they would if they were the ones manufacturing their own hardware. But if it's like through some sort of third-party deal with Oculus, I think they're going to keep it close to the chest for as long as possible until they actually reveal, if they're ready to reveal it.
Well, I guess that would be smart if you're Microsoft and you're not sure how well VR is actually going to do for consoles. Maybe it'd be safer if you say, we'll help you fund third party. We're not going to go all in, but we'll help you fund a VR headset that can work with our system. If you want to make it, maybe. Yeah. I could see something like that happening, and I don't know, man. This is so, the problem with all this is that I think it's the social media impression that they're giving. The fact that it's on the ad. The fact that they're tweeting at IFNL Science, Elon Musk.
Can I address that, Cobra?
Yeah. Grammy, how you doing?
I always sneak in, don't I?
Your voice just made me so happy. It's awesome to have you on.
So let's step back just a second and talk about so ARGs are alternative reality. To make them real to human beings, they have to have a half a foot in reality. I think that Panda had an excellent point that and you made the statement earlier too last night, that if VR or VARE, whatever they want to call themselves, is really something that's going to help the game later on and is connected to lore, it makes sense for these small companies the ANS are connected with to jump in and be part of it. It's kind of like a surprise birthday party. You know how if you plan a surprise birthday party for a person and you get a whole bunch of people involved, but you say don't say anything, but you can drop some hints, but you can't say anything. So it's like that kind of a concept. So all these people are part of the ARG, but they also know that there's going to be an explanation at the end of it. So I don't think they're too worried about their fans, because if they know that their fans are going to enjoy what comes at the end of it, then they're going to be wanting to push that. So some of these companies like Mimi, I went and looked at Mimi and some of their Twitter stuff all the way back for the last 2 years. And they only say one thing about Wear. It's that the same time that everyone else did. So that was the key for these companies to all of a sudden jump in on part of the surprise party plan. It's just us that don't understand what's going on because we're not on the other side of the mirror. We're on this side of it. So we don't know what's going on. So it seems like, oh, this is so real. But I did huge amount of research on VR and what was going on in the tech world and stocks and things like that. And like you said, Microsoft says they're not ready for VR till at least 2019, whether they're doing it or someone else is doing it. That was their last take on VR. They have more interesting things, I guess, they're exploring. Also, the big thing for VR right now is taking the tethers away. So there's a lot of companies out there that are pushing the idea that you're going to wear this headset without it being tethered to a console anymore. So that's the big thing out there for all the PC gamers and tech stuff, you know, like popular science and everything. That's what's going around on the internet. But the one plus that you know that's a part of the ARG is there is nothing out there anywhere except in the ARG about wear. That's it. There's nothing out there. There's no tickle or nothing about a company out of China that's making any type of anything. Even in dream technology, there's nothing out there. I went into science research to see, and there's nothing out there. So they're just playing it off so that you guys are all in that state of, is it true or is it not? That's my say. I don't care if they have VR or not, personally.
I mean, I do, because so many people out there want it, and I do too. The way Schomburg explained it a long time ago, he said that they actually had it working with VR in a very rudimentary way. And he said it was cool. But during an IGN long interview with Ryan, he talked about it, and he said that he felt at the time that he was afraid of it. He didn't want it to be gimmicky, and he wanted to wait and see, right?
Right.
And then he also said that how he envisioned VR with No Man's Sky is, he said, sometimes you might get to a planet and you might want to put it on to experience the planet, and maybe you take it back off and you play. And also with a lot of games, like Agony's releasing, and Agony's going to have VR support, but not for the entire game. So Agony is going to only have portions of the game or certain modes of the game that are going to be in VR. So unless they're, well, then we go back to rehauling the entire game, No Man's Sky, which we're all thinking that that's what's happening here. So I guess if they do something that extravagant, then maybe VR would work with the whole game. I don't know.
Right.
In my personal opinion, is I think it's about the lore. It's how we get stuck.
I agree there too. I do believe it's part of the lore when you go through and you look at it and everything. And I had a big discussion about AI, existentialism on the Where Discord. So if you guys really want to know more about Where, you can go to a lot of stuff that's not there.
Yeah, definitely.
What Where is, and none of them believe that Where is real. I'm going to tell you that right up. None of them, game detectives, nobody. A couple of people come in and they're like, oh, what does this really mean? But they don't believe in it. They just think it's part of the ARG. And
right.
There's a woman on there named Kodak who works for Allison Smith, and she has confirmed it many times over that it's part of the ARG. So that to me is enough. Maybe not for anybody else. I mean, it's something you would want to believe in. I mean, VR, if you really want VR, then you're going to want to believe in Where. And there's nothing anybody can say that change that until it comes out or doesn't come out.
We have a new caller on the show. We got Rude TV. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Cobra, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. It's going really great. Man, long time since you've been on. I know last time you went on, I don't think you got a chance to talk a lot.
No, I didn't. I was actually working in between. I'm actually working right now. I'm in my lunch break. So I saw your Twitter that you're going to get on the morning show. So I'm on.
Awesome. Real quick before you get interrupted by, grown-up stuff. What's your opinion on Where and VR?
Man, it's so exciting, man. I really think it's VR, man. Because Sean, Hello Games, they've been teasing that for the longest time, even before the game was released. And I mean, why would they have that in the teaser? I mean, that's the next teaser. They show all the platforms, and then finally at the end, that Where logo comes up, and I mean, why would they have that?
See, that confuses me too.
It is confusing.
But maybe they're trying to get the Xbox One community involved in the ARG.
Maybe, but honestly, it could be a lot of things, and it could also be a standalone headset that's compatible with any system.
That's a possibility too. I mean, there hasn't been a third-party one yet, right? We lost Rude, I believe. We are going to get hidden Jew Agenda on the show here.
Oh, they're both here now. Yoo-hoo! Yay!
Oops. I don't know what happened. But yeah, as I was saying, it could be a standalone headset that's compatible with Xbox, PC, or PS4. I mean, who knows what it could be? But honestly, I think it has to do with VR, because even the logo wear, you could say it in so many ways. It spells out VR, or I mean, I don't know, Cole. Crazy. I need some news from Hello Games.
Yeah, it's dangerous, isn't it? Because I know Hello Games has got to be looking, right? And they got to be saying to themselves, like, oh my God, they blew this out of proportion. Everyone's saying VR. So it's like,
and that text that he posted on Twitter, the hex whatever,
with Morpheus, yeah.
And that was Morpheus. I mean, how many clues are they trying to throw it out to us? And then at the end, they're not going to say it's not VR. I mean, no, I think it's just going to be like like. I'm not saying VR is the only thing. It might be like a patch, just how Wipeout was released last week. So it could be something like that, or I don't know. I'm just scratching my head over here because it's ridiculously entertaining.
I love hearing all these different opinions, man. I love, like, every other caller comes on. One person's like, I don't think it's VR. I think it's ARG related and it's lore. And then the next caller comes on, I think it's VR. And then the next caller's like, nah, I don't think it's VR. I love this. This. It's amazing.
I mean, they're forcefully doing this. Yeah, they're forcefully doing this to like tease us, and it's amazing, man. I know I know it's going to be something big, and I just can't wait. And honestly, all these leaks that are coming out, like GameStop has a release date, Amazon has a release date, but that's just for the Xbox version. I think we're getting this update way before that, because if you read what they wrote, Xbox comes with all the updates, the Foundation, the Atlas, even the next update from day one. That means PS4 and PC players, we might get the update way earlier than July.
Well, hold on a second. Let me read something from you on the No Man's Sky blog here. Let me find it first. No Man's Sky is also coming to Xbox One, which has long been hotly requested by patient Xbox fans. The Xbox version will come with Foundation, Pathfinder, Atlas Rises, and Next from day one in 4K HDR. Yep. Xbox One X. We are also bringing No Man's Sky to Wii game.
Doesn't that tell you that we're getting it way sooner than? I mean, don't you think? I think PS4 and PC players are gonna get the next update before Xbox One comes out, since it clearly states.
Whoa! What is that?
Is that a train?
I don't know what that was, but anybody wearing headphones, I really apologize for that.
Rip.
What do you think? But what do you think, Cobra? Do you think I'm right, or do you think that's just wildly speculation?
I can't tell you if you're wrong, because, tell you the truth, nobody knows. You know what I mean? No one knows. I can tell you what my opinion.
The way they word it is like it's coming out a lot sooner than we think. I think we're gonna get the update first, and then
they
Xbox...
have the GameStop kind of accidentally looks like they released a date, an actual date, not a placeholder date of
the 24th.
The 24th, yeah.
And that's on a Tuesday.
Yeah, there you go. Hold on a second. We got two new callers on the show. We've got Hidden Jew Agenda finally joined us. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just having a good old time hearing everybody's opinions. And then we also have TJ. TJ, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. Let's start with TJ real quick. TJ, VR, no VR. What's your deal with Wear?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go on the technical side since I haven't followed Wear and the ARG in a while, but I'll let Ju go first, actually.
Okay, go ahead, bud.
Well, what I think Wear is, I definitely think it's part of the ARG, but what I kind of think is, what if they're hinting at VR and just seeing the kind of support behind it before they make a decision? Like, do you think that could be going on?
Yeah, I think so. I think I seen somebody say something about a social experiment, kind of.
Yeah. Like maybe if they see that there's a lot of hype on it, they might go into production, or I don't know. It's so confusing but so exciting at the same time. You know, whether or not we get VR, I'm going to love this next update, and I'm sure we all will. But like you guys said earlier, I think this is going to be a complete game changer all around. And what I honestly think, I don't think the update will come out until Xbox gets it. That's not fair for us to get it first and then it released on Xbox and then everybody's all out of sync. I think everyone's going to get it on a certain day at a certain time.
Right. I kind of have that feeling that it's going to be like a big release. Like you may as well release them together. You know.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, for marketing purposes, you might release the updates slightly ahead of the Xbox release, just, so you're built, this is what you have to look forward to. But I think it's most likely that the update would drop maybe like that night that the Xbox version gets released, or maybe the day before. Just,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
If it'll be funny if Sean Murray just tweets June, Joon.
The only way they'd release the update early is for like bug fixing problems, like bug reporting.
Yeah.
I feel like
otherwise I see it all coming at the same time. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey Cobra, this is Panda.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, sorry that I hung up earlier. I was at a place getting my car, like my tire repaired, and a guy overheard my conversation about No Man's Sky, and he started talking to me about it. He worked at the Goodyear place, and he said that he bought the game on release and then he sold it because he thought it was going to be something else and it wasn't what he thought and all that kind of stuff. Right. And so I started talking to him a little bit about the Atlas Rises update and like the next update coming. And he was talking about rebuying it. And so then I told him to go check out, I told him that you were live streaming now and to, when he gets a chance to get on YouTube, to go to Cobra TV and check it out. So it sounds like just based on the Atlas Rises features, people are willing to come back. So I think that this, like Hidden said, like this is going to be a big game changer. I think this is going to bring everybody back and a lot of new people. So
I think so. I really do. And I'm so excited for that, whether it's VR or massive multiplayer, which, the people thinking VR is people being super hyped. Me talking about multiplayer is me being super hyped. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
wow, what a crazy situation this is, man. But it's super exciting. Super exciting.
I think it's going to be D, all of the above.
TJ,
what do you think, man?
So the ARG, I'm not 100% sure. I agree that it's more of, it's more story related that were put in with the headset and all that, like you were talking about earlier. But from a technical point, I think this update in general, I'm just going to talk about the update real quick. I think the update is a complete overhaul of the entire engine and everything if we are to get VR support, because right now in the state that No Man's Sky is, it's barely playable on the original PS4. So if we get VR support on the original PS4, I think it'll be a complete engine overhaul of everything. So
I think
that's true. That's true.
Okay,
but overall, I was just going to say overall terrain generation, all of that's probably going to get changed.
Oh, I agree, man. I'm right there with you, buddy. I really am. See, we're going to get somebody named Tyler on the call. I tell you what, this is super interesting, man. Everybody's all over the place with what they think. It's awesome. Tyler.
How's it going?
Going pretty good, man. Thank you for coming on Cobra TV, man. It's a pleasure to have you.
pleasure to be here.
So, have you been listening to the show?
Yes, I have. Kind of did my homework after I watched your video to something this morning.
Awesome, man. Very, very awesome. I was working at that time. I worked night shift. I'm super excited. What did you find out?
Well, when I translated the website and I was reading through it and stuff like that, it really made me think that, this Wear thing is, and this is probably going to stun a lot of people. I think it's actually a legitimate product, surprisingly.
Really?
Just because, there's pricing down towards the bottom. And then if you look at their company profile, there's, stuff in there. That's just my opinion. Either way, if it's just talking about VR and multiplayer, I'm hyped for both.
Yeah, so am I, man. So am I. And I see the pricing. It's like $2,000, right?
Right. And really, when you think about it, the Oculus, I don't remember how much that was when it came out. It was like 800 or so.
600.
So, I don't know. They're always coming out with new technology, and
so
they've been working on things like that to
I agree
to the internet.
So listen, if this was a real device and it was really telepathically connecting you into some dream world game, and you could actually get a full night's rest and experience multiplayer gaming at the same exact time and retain that memory and be able to see, hear, taste, smell, I wouldn't put that thing under $2,000. Think about it.
No, exactly why I think
buying a new car.
Yeah, exactly why I think they're doing it that way. And then the thing about it is, it says on there free upgrades, customer support, and for corporate companies, it was starting at 120,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
Then there's a shared version. So if you buy if you buy the shared version, someone could already have the headset and just you guys just purchase the software or whatever the case may be. It just
It's been a long time.
Well, if this was a real device, then the whole world will be talking about it right now.
Well, that's true. That's true, but it's also not, because if you think about it, there are products out there that aren't heavily talked about. For instance, the product that I use, because I'm actually a legally blind gamer, called eSight, and no one really knew about it until the past 2 years, and it's been out since 2011.
Oh wow!
But I researched under the science technology, and there's not even a whisper out there of people doing research on it, because there would have to be some type of research if they're gonna tell you that you put it on and when you go to sleep it's gonna retain and you're gonna have a sensory interaction with the game. That whole thing right there.
There's no active patents.
Action part is the part that would be some type of research going out there, because there'd be other applications to it besides video gaming.
Gold and silver is you people are going crazy if you are seriously thinking this is a real device. I can't. I'm not going to lie to you. There was a moment. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a moment. I'm not going to, act all tough or whatever. There was a moment that I actually considered the thought, oh my gosh, what if this is some top secret thing and they're waiting to the last minute to, say this to the world so nobody steals the technology or whatever. I did entertain that thought. Okay. It was fleeting. It's gone. But I was there. I thought that. Okay.
But that's how the ARG works.
We'll just have to
also.
see.
There's no active patent.
I don't think it's a stupid thing for you to think that. Not one bit.
I believe
some things could be real.
Can you guys hear me?
It's really convincing.
Hang on,
The wear thing is really convincing. But the copyright was filed this year. There's no active patent on that technology. And so for those two reasons alone, I think it's fictional. But it's very easy to believe that it might be real. It had me convinced for a little while. So
yeah. We got a new caller on the show. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good, man. It's going good. This is probably the craziest subcast I think I've ever done. We are sitting here discussing whether No Man's Sky is going to have VR, whether it's going to have massive multiplayer, whether this telepathic device is actually real and it's going to come out, or if there's like two people in a basement somewhere coming up with this crap to make us go crazy. You know, this is like the coolest subcast I think I've ever had. And I want to get your opinion on all of it.
Okay. Well, funny thing is, I'm watching you on my TV and I'm talking to you on my phone, so it's kind of weird. But awesome, I just want to say, on a side note, this is probably the best community in gaming. When Sean Murray announced the new update trailer on his Twitter, I was paying attention to all the major game journalists out there, IGN, The Know, GameSpot, all these people, even if they did a small little 30-second video on it, they somehow had to spin negativity into it. And I'm like, it's like there's a Facebook community I'm in. It's the No Man's Sky community. It has like 16,000 members. And everyone on there is always sharing stuff, and it's always a good community. And one guy posted on there, he said, I find it funny how they can never seem to give it a second chance. Yeah. And I just want to say, this is awesome. Now, on to, the community is awesome. But on to your question. Me personally, I've been following you since the beginning, since you were getting those tapes in the mail and stuff, since the beginning of all this. And hearing everything today about the VR headsets and all this, me personally, when was the last official update, the Atlas Rises update? When was that released?
It was like October, I believe, right?
October. So we are in April now, beginning of April. I know that they take some time off for the holidays, and you include that. I think what we're going to get, I'm not saying we're going to get VR. I think that's going to be a cool addition. Do I think we're going to get it? I don't think we are. I think we are going to get a complete and utter relaunch of the game. I remember when 1.5 was being talked about and the Phoenix stuff was being thrown around, people were talking about this is going to be a relaunch, this is going to be a relaunch. And what better time to relaunch No Man's Sky than on a new console with a complete overhaul, to the point to where when you have your old saves, I'm not saying you'd have to delete it and restart, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's recommended that people just reset, because they've had almost a year just to work on this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people think, hold on a second, is Chewy on the call?
I thought the same thing. I thought the same exact thing. I was literally about to say Chewy.
but think about this for a second. Atlas Rises, Foundation, Pathfinder. What if those were just easy updates for them, and a split part of the team was working on something even bigger this entire time?
They have to be. And
so what if we're thinking, or what if we're thinking small? What if this is actually more than a year that they've been working on this update? And also consider this too. Consider this. The things that we've seen in some of the trailers, and I'm just going to mention one easy one. The very tall, what look like trade stations, like the one that looked like an old sewing machine, in the montage trailer. Yeah. So that asset does exist. It did exist. They have it. They created it. It's somewhere.
Is it still? Is it in the latest updates?
No.
Do we know?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
So what they did, we also saw the circles on the planets in the old trailers. The circle structures, the Sentinel terminals or whatever.
Yeah.
We saw those, and they actually finally made it into the game. So that means that was an asset that existed that didn't get there at launch or with the two first updates, right? So all those other assets that we've seen, that gorilla-looking creature in one of the trailers, that purple gorilla that came out walking on his knuckles and looked around and stuff. Remember that little purple gorilla? No?
No.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. It was in one of the Sony Fight, Trade, and Survive trailers. Okay, so those assets do exist, and one of them finally made it into the game. So consider all those assets that they still have, and consider the fact that maybe a portion of the team was working on something bigger, while another portion of the team probably had these other assets and just made these easy updates. Well, I don't want to call them easy, but they just made these updates to keep us, having fun. And that's why we're living update to update, because, they ran their course pretty quickly. And maybe the other portion of the team was working on something even bigger.
I do believe that, because if you look at Atlas Rise's cover, it has the plutonium stacks or crystals that you find on planets. It had some super huge, Ray Rod model style huge. And when Atlas Rises came out, I was like, okay, well maybe they've got larger, maybe things are a lot larger on some places, and they haven't been. But I'm wondering if that was a hint of E3 trailer style coming with this next update. And I want to believe that. I know some people are against that. I know Panda doesn't really like that, but I truly think that they are going to give us that E3 style look that they gave us a long time ago. I think they finally got it.
Yeah. See, I'm on the other end of the fence with that. I think the game looks better now than it did at E3.
That's what Panda says too.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, the terrain looks more detailed. Now when you're talking about the Rhino, charging through the forest and the large Diplos and things like that, I can feel you on that. I can feel you. But as far as the way it looked at E3 2015, oh man, I think the game looks way better.
I think if they had more trees on lush planets, I don't know, every lush planet I've gone to, it's so spread out, and nothing is super tall and close to each other, except for frozen planets. But I want to see a paradise planet back in the day. You used to fly on paradise planets, and they used to be surrounded by trees just everywhere, and you don't see that no more. I want that back on some. I don't know. I just want it back.
I almost wonder if they'll bring back the idea of the closer you get to the center, the better the planets get.
Yes.
Do you guys remember the first trailer? Do you guys remember the first trailer for No Man's Sky?
At the VGX Awards, right?
Yeah, when he's underwater. It starts off he's underwater. There's
it's got a shark and stuff. The water's red.
Was there a spaceship underwater?
Yes, there was.
Yeah,
sure enough.
And there was bubbles coming out of it.
He even mentioned that there were going to be crash ships in the water too. A while back. But
when the game first came out, there was more things underwater than it was the second time I played it after I bought it right before this last update.
Yeah.
Because when I first played it in August of 2016, I got stuck on a water planet, which you can go and see on my back play and my playlist. And there were those places that like the vales and the marshes that you get that are the areas. And so I found it odd that after the other two updates, they took them out. Because I can't find any of them anywhere on any water planet. I explore all the time. Everywhere. So weird that they took them out. I hope they put them back. I really like that.
Cobra, I'm really hoping for a VR update. I know, it might not come, and I'm not going to be pissed off if it doesn't. But honestly, I think No Man's Sky is made for VR because the graphics are not realistic. It's like vector art. So it's going to look amazing in VR. It's going to look just as good as you see it on your TV, if not better.
It'd be the killer app for VR.
It would.
It would. It totally would.
Rudy, Rude, I agree with you, and I can't throw any stones at you whatsoever for thinking that there's going to be VR, because I'm over here thinking this is going to be a super, super awesome update with multiplayer.
I just can't wait for it.
Can I tinfoil out on something real quick?
Sure, buddy.
I don't mean to cut you off, but
No,
what if
go ahead.
what if this
Your
what if
show.
this what if this wear tech is in the game itself? Like when like let's just say we have a player model when the next update comes out. What if there's like a mini game inside of No Man's Sky now that like you put on this headset in game and you're able to play like this like other game mode inside the game now? Like that's different. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just tinfoiling real hard on that right now.
I'm
I'm
gonna-
just kind of
That'd be
thinking.
really cool.
Holy
Here's
shit,
what-
that could be it. It could be like a start of a multiplayer lobby or something. Like it just. Dude,
That'd be
I
interesting.
just
yeah.
had an idea pop into my head.
I'm
So-
gonna go ahead.
So when you first start up the game and it has you initialize, that could be like you putting on the wear tech or whatever, and they could somehow integrate that. Maybe I have no idea. This has just got me.
I love it. I love it,
Well,
dude.
with what you just said, like, what if your like player model is like sitting in a chair when you first boot up, and then like your character puts on the VR headset, and then No Man's Sky starts, and that's like your. I don't
Yes,
know.
that's what I'm thinking. That's
Okay.
exactly what I'm thinking. Like,
Okay,
So-
I can see that.
I'm going to place my bet that if Where is actually anything at all, my bet is that it's going to be a companion app that we're going to somehow use with No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That's
That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
oh
That'd
man,
be
all
Maybe a
these
way of
ideas
like
are great.
plotting your journey throughout No Man's Sky, and like instead of going to the galaxy map, you might be able to pull up your map on like your actual phone and like plot your course. Maybe.
That could be, or it could be like some sort of, don't laugh at me, galactic social network for No Man's Sky.
Nice. Maybe
I
we're all
don't
the. Well, what about what?
See, somebody's laughing at me.
No, I'm
Now
laughing
all
because
of
it's
you are
brilliant.
laughing.
I'm laughing because it's brilliant. Like honestly,
it is.
That would be where all your discoveries
Hey.
are. You could go to someone's name and see their discoveries through this app. Like,
When you think about it, an app like that somewhat alleviates the the issue with crossplay, because at least with the mobile app you can collaborate across platforms,
Right.
even if you can't interact directly in game.
Yeah. Well, we got a special guest on the show. We actually got two brand new callers, but I want to introduce the one and the only LPlays.
Oh,
okay.
hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, buddy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's going on, dude? How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm so good, man. How about you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. So have you been listening to the madness that we call a show here?
I have indeed. I've been wanting to join for so long, and I've just made a Skype and finally did it.
So making, I want to get your opinion, LPlay's opinion. What do you think about Where? Do you think it's VR? Do you think it's hinting to lore about how we get stuck inside the universe? Do you think it's hinting at multiplayer? I don't know if you were listening to the beginning of the show, but at the beginning of the show, I talked about how Sean Murray said that that this was the first step with Atlas Rises, the first step into synchronized cooperative gameplay. And now we're here on the next, and he actually says this is the next step for a longer journey for us and the community. So we got first step and next step. First step meaning multiplayer, next step meaning blank. Multiplayer is what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. But
100% multiplayer has got to be coming. The Where website is full of references to things like massively multiplayer online,
yeah.
cooperative experience, like all of this stuff in there that's about the Where technology. Like there's so many hints to multiplayer that has to be it. But I also think VR, like there's no way they've used that imagery and made it look like that without thinking, if that was just Waking Titan lore, they know people are going to look at that and think, oh, VR is coming. Like there's no way they would do that by mistake.
Because if you're
It would
sitting
just be
there,
crazy.
yeah, if you're sitting there and you're designing this ARG, you're getting ready to release something, where's that guy that's sitting next to Sean or Anna Shell from Allison Smith that goes, guys, I don't think this is a good idea, man. They're going to run away with VR like crazy, and it's going to be a madhouse. You know what I mean?
100%.
That's a good point.
It is a madhouse. That's all.
Cobra,
Like,
I suggest you
it totally
start
is.
eating. I suggest you start eating PBJs from now on.
Yeah, you're right. You might be right. Maybe I should do that anyway.
The fact it's called Where, like,
oh, the VR logo. Like,
yeah, because
come on.
W, yeah, and then in a lot of places in Europe, W is pronounced V. So I mean, so
Or it
not
could be
only
two
does the
Vs.
logo,
Might
yeah,
not be a W at all. Maybe it's two V's. So,
it's
We have another caller here I want to introduce real quick because he's been sitting here for a little bit. Steven, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Very, very well, Cobra. How's everybody?
We are insane. How are you?
Doing your show for the best half an hour. My mind is exploding with loads of things. Crazy.
What's your opinion on all of it, man? The multiplayer and the VR, everything.
I think it's going to be VR.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is. That's probably a sort of a weaker point, but the ARG is definitely a stronger point. It'll definitely be multiplayer for sure. Definitely. I'm sort of 95% sure about that. I've got to be. It leads that way.
And yeah, okay. So you know what? This could be potentially dangerous if there's no VR. Somebody tweet this video at Hello Games in case they don't know what's going on.
I say we all tweet it. I say we
There's
all.
no way. After everything that happened with the whole hype fiasco at launch and like stuff not making it into the game or whatever, if they did something like they've plastered VR imagery all over this, there's no way they're like that's not coming.
To be fair, it's a telepathic device. It's not really VR.
Yeah. So the Wear technology itself is 100% like sci-fi, not real stuff. But the connection to VR is so like blatant. There's no way that even if that was lore, like they would have known that this is too similar to VR for people not to think that.
I'll say this: if they don't have VR, like all the No Man's Sky players will probably start rioting. I
mean, the other thing, if you remember, when the game was first released, your view within the cockpit was pretty limited. You really couldn't see much around your cockpit. But when the latest update happened, I mean, you could see literally on the sides. You can fly, look at the sides. You can, it plays as if it should have been a VR game.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. It's possible, though. It's possible that they could be directing your ideas as VR, but whatever they're going to offer you is going to make you forget about the VR, is their plan. So that's possible, too, the redirection.
Right.
I mean, because if they give you something that you guys have all been asking for so much besides VR, like the multiplayer, and it's like exquisite, and it's like beyond your imagination, very few people are going to bitch about the VR.
Right.
But weren't they testing it with Oculus like back in 2015 or 16? There was like a picture of them.
Yes. I want to read. No. Hold on. No. Well, Harris Borenstein says, I want multiplayer. However, it goes against the original vision of line of exploration experience. No. Well,
anyway.
They wanted No Man's Sky to be released as exploration and not really multiplayer. But he said that they had a plan for more traditional multiplayer later down the road, and they were excited about it, but they weren't ready to talk about it yet. So here we are down the road. Also, the blog post right when the game first came out, it said Sean said right now, No Man's Sky is about exploration. Later, it'll be about other things. So they had plans for multiplayer, a big multiplayer, and nothing that they were pinned into a corner. They weren't pressured. He actually said that they were pretty excited about it. So,
do you remember in one of his interviews, Sean Murray said was questioned whether there would be a third view perspective on the character, and he
said they actually had it, and it didn't look right to them, so they took it out.
Yeah, I wonder if that has any sort of correlation to VR.
I don't know.
I think where has to be because in Waking Titan, most of the things in there have some sort of like real world equivalent or allegory to something, and I like how Mercury and Mercury process is symbolic of the No Man's Sky, the simulation itself. I think where's just code for VR itself. I think that's what where is in relation to the ARG.
I motioned that.
You guys know, out of everything in the update that I would want them to add, including multiplayer and, of course, everything else, is new music. I think the soundtrack for the game is phenomenal.
Yeah. I think
You
it's
get
the best.
65 days of static to record some more.
Yeah.
And see, that's one thing I miss from the promises that I don't really think we've seen entirely is the procedural music. We haven't seen that entirely.
Yeah, there's not
the
enough
scope that I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think that's going to come along with wind effects and a whole graphics overhaul on the planets and everything else like that. Because at the end of the day, I don't think Sean and Hello Games would be up on that stage. They knew their vision. Their vision is like the vision that we're talking about, which is multiplayer, mineral mining, farming, community-based, far-reaching. I mean, that's what we're really wanting. I think that's what they're aspiring to too, as well. But I think it's going towards that direction. We just need.
Do you think their vision? Do you think their vision has changed because of how the community has interacted with the game, like with the hubs and whatnot?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think so. Yes, but they've always had plans for multiplayer, though.
Yes.
Yeah. And sorry.
Oh no, I was just asking a question.
Maybe this update is the when Sean Murray he said, later the game's going to be about other things. This is what he was talking about because Atlas Rises maybe was their realization of what they wanted the game to be as an exploration game. But now that Next is coming, it might be changing the games in ways that we may not even, be in the right mindset to even speculate on. Like the game could become something completely different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all it takes is another alien race to spoil it all.
What if there was procedurally generated species, I'm sorry, races?
Sentient species.
It's weird for me because VR and multiplayer are two things that I'm personally not too bothered about. I just love exploring all of the beautiful planets and stuff.
Yeah, I think
all of this stuff in
me too.
But all of the stuff in the ARG is what's made me that's got to be coming. There's too many little hints and clues for that not to be it.
Yeah, I think the VR experience is just a caveat in the game. Whether you will need a VR headset to purposely interact within the game or make a difference within the game, that's another story. But I think it'd just be a sort of caveat into the immersion of the game, really.
Yeah, I feel like it would totally just be an add-on. You'd put it on and it'd be cool to look around at the planets and stuff, but you wouldn't need to have it.
Exactly.
God, imagine flying into a planet in VR, seeing all that heat on your windshield and.
Oh my gosh!
It would instantly become the best VR game that exists right now. Straight away.
No doubt.
It would be so good.
Completely agree. It's what VR needs to push VR sales.
What we need is a spacewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stepping out of the ship, that would be cool.
Yes.
In space, that would be cool.
Have a tether to your ship to where you could just drift out there and mine your little asteroid or whatever.
Yeah, you got some mining to do or some repairs or something to do, or or if there was a great war and there was a third another species, altogether, that would be even crazier. That we'd have to get to galaxy that to save somebody, or a planet was dying and then there was valuable resources within that planet that you can only get from that planet or something. I don't know.
Well, speaking of galaxies, I actually seen something. If you look at the whole Xbox thing, it says that you're in a shared galaxy. And it doesn't say galaxies, it says galaxy, as in what if they're changing and taking out the galaxies that pre-exist now and just keeping us in one? Do you think that makes sense?
That does.
Yeah.
That does.
Cobra mentioned the different center. That wouldn't be different. That would make sense.
Doesn't it tie into lore though? The whole because you find how you go. Well, is this a spoiler? This is a spoiler.
Oh no, you're
not at this point anymore, man.
Okay,
unless there's Xbox people.
All right.
I haven't made it to the center yet either. So
yeah, when you go to spoiler alert, all right, cover your ears. When you go to the center, the universe resets, so you're not like actually going to a new one. You're resetting.
Well, for now, yeah, but like they could change that altogether completely.
True. That's true.
It's one simulation and one galaxy is pretty much how that goes.
Yeah.
There's one point against, I'd argue, that says that it won't be one single galaxy, and it may still. That Foundation, Pathfinder, and Atlas Rises are included with the Xbox version. I don't know if that goes against anything, but I guess the lore might be going against it.
I don't know. I think I got what the center is, guys. This is it. You're gonna get to the center, and there's gonna be a statue of Sean Murray, and you're gonna hit an interactive button, and he's just gonna say hello. He's gonna be like hello, and then the credits roll. Game over.
That would be the ultimate troll.
Game of the year.
But first, you get a selfie with him.
Right.
The VR experience is actually just you in a room with Sean Murray. It's not the game.
Pre-programmed responses.
I do want to throw this by you guys, see what you think on this. What do you guys think of this potentially being, I'm not saying the final big update, but possibly one of the last big ones?
It's going to be its standalone, like to keep the game on its 2 feet, you know what I mean, for a while.
Yeah.
I could definitely see this being like the biggest ever one that comes from now on, and then from here it's kind of smaller ones again.
Well, they've even said that. They've even said that this is the biggest update that they've worked on yet. So,
but I think this could be the biggest one they ever do. I feel like because they've said they're gonna keep doing them, right? That was the best bit of news that I saw from all of this was not only are we getting next, and not only is it coming to Xbox, but they plan to continue supporting it this way in the future. I was like, yes. I was so ready for this to be like, I was preparing myself for this to be it, like the big point where they're finished now, they can move on to other stuff, but it sounds like they're just going to keep going full speed.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I want to play a clip for the people watching. Anybody that's on a Skype call is not going to be able to hear this, but you'll be able to hear it through the stream. So here's what I keep quoting. It's Sean Murray talking about their plans for multiplayer. This was back in 2014, July of 2014. July. So July of 2014, here is Sean Murray talking about multiplayer and the future of No Man's Sky.
Pulling you out, really far apart. There is this thing which I'm not going to talk about now. That is a plan for multiplayer and for people to have a more traditional multiplayer experience within the game. And that's something that we'll deal with further down the line. That is exciting, but that is not what's core to the game right now.
I'm sure many of you.
So that was not what's core to the game right now, and they're excited about it, and they're going to deal with it further down the line. That's what I keep quoting, and that's why I was so silent for the past 10 minutes. I was trying to find that. But so that's where I think we're at right now. That's why I said it's a longer journey for us and the community. Yeah. And first step in cooperative synchronized gameplay, and next step in a longer journey. I don't know.
What if they follow?
Go ahead.
What if they follow like a similar pattern where after this update, maybe 3 months down the line, we get another, thing, then another thing, and then like we get like 2 or 3 smaller ones, and then they follow it up with a big one in 2019 or something. Because Sean Murray's kind of seemed like he wanted to keep making this game for a long time. So,
what about the income? That's my question.
Somebody said, and that was stated in 2014. Yeah, hence the terminology that he used, that they're going to deal with it further down the road. Because if he stated it like last year, we'd still have to wait a pretty long time for further down the road.
They don't seem like a studio that'll operate above their means, like when they need funds, I think they can like break off a small team and they'll work on Joe Danger or something.
Yeah, like another Joe Danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you think, they're bringing it to Xbox now, which is going to be massive in terms of revenue for them. Yeah. But then also that the Tencent Wii game platform, that's like the Chinese equivalent to Steam. Like that's going to be huge. Like that's going to bring in so much money for those like 2 releases at once.
Sean did say that China is their second biggest area.
Yeah, like that's going to be massive.
They're all waiting for it, I'm sure. There's no other game like it.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever see a game like it again. In my opinion, I don't know.
Something. There will be another ambitious game that will just, think about how cool this game is out. They're an indie developer who made Joe Danger, an indie game that got published. It did well, right? But it wasn't really a whole household name. But look at how many developers are making games, and they're great. They're really fun. These indie teams, and you never hear about their title just because it doesn't get talked about that much. But you could go and see the games on PSN store, or you can find these games on Steam. But think about this game from a small indie dev, went worldwide and became one of the most talked about games, and is still 2 years later one of the most talked about games, whether you're throwing shade on it or love. You know what I mean? It's like it's still one of the most talked about games.
People won't forget about it.
There's
Even the haters won't forget about it.
There's a game reviewer out there named Noah. The channel, I think, is Noah Clydesworth. And it's like a 45-minute review. And the final comment he said was, the game is science fiction, despite all of its flaws and all of its shortcomings. But 20 years ago, this game would be science fiction. That just the simple thought of having infinite worlds, it's like we do now.
That's
so
a
crazy. Hold on,
statement.
I'm writing that down. I'm going to put that in the book of Traveler's Book of the Galaxy. Hold on. What did you say?
Okay, can you put that? Can you find that link?
It's okay. Let me. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going on YouTube right now, and I'm going to find him. He does phenomenal reviews. Come on. Where's he at?
Peter, it's an excellent review. You need to watch it. I watched it. He doesn't really like No Man's Sky, but he did an excellent by explaining, what the pros and the cons with the game, and how he admires Hello Games for what they did and stuff like that. It's a really in-depth review.
Okay, the name of his channel is Noah Clydesworth Garvis. In this picture is like a van. His latest video was revisiting Dying Light. He's got 85,000 subscribers. But to answer your question, Cobra, the quote is, despite all of its flaws and all of its shortcomings, No Man's Sky is a science fiction game. 20 years ago would have been science fiction itself.
I love that. God darn it, I love that quote. That is amazing, dude.
And he gave it a fair shake. He said it's not his cup of tea, but he's like, I admire him just for the simple fact that they had the gonads to do this.
Well,
One of the better reviews out there.
I'm going to be saying that quote a lot.
See what you've done? No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, right.
No, we should be telling Hello Game to see what you've done. You drove us all insane.
Pretty much.
I was already there. It's all right.
I mean, Sean Murray created this tech. Like, he talked a lot at GDC about that he hopes a lot of games are like using this tech in the future, and that he's seeing a lot more games using this tech. People forget that. Like, when they started developing this game, like if you go to the news section of No Man's Sky's website and go all the way back, they're talking about this in like 2011 or 12. You know what I mean? Like, no one was doing this type of game. Right. So he sort of pioneered this technology.
Well, even I don't know the specifics, and I could be wrong, and please correct me if I am, but Star Citizen changed direction once they saw No Man's Sky and started adding planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, amongst developers, they respect Hello Games and their technical prowess. So yeah.
How could you not?
They were pioneers. I mean, they did something that really not a lot of companies would do.
Right. Mm-hmm. We have Geeky. I always mess up this name for some reason. Geeky Pikachu. That's like a weird tongue twister or brain twister.
Hey guys.
How you doing, buddy? I want to get your opinion, man, on what you think about VR or no VR. Let's start with that.
Well, VR would be nice, but I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't even use it, considering I don't have the money, the time, the interest, or
well, based on
purpose for the VR.
Based on what we're seeing with Where, what do you think that's trying to imply? You think it's just lore? Do you think it's just or do you think it's actually just trying to introduce multiplayer, which that's my opinion, or do you think it's trying to say, hey, VR's coming?
Well, I kind of have mixed feelings, actually. Because the thing is that...
You're so mellow. You are really, really mellow.
I'm quiet.
Huh? You are like the most mellow person I've ever seen, the most chill person.
My exact opposite.
Yeah, that's right. It's a compliment. It's a compliment, Geeky Pikachu.
Okay. I was gonna say though, the headset itself, I think someone else has noticed this as well, but it's got those 3 exact same dots as the anomaly.
I know.
And speculation here, but if the anomaly gives us, like, let's say, a way out of the simulation, or something along those lines, we could be in multiplayer through the anomaly. Or VR through the anomaly. Who knows?
In the lore, the anomaly exists outside of space and time. Yeah. And it would make sense that the anomaly is and inside the anomaly, by the way, is the simulation generator. So the anomaly itself could be the result of a person wearing this like Wear headset, like in game lore, and that's how they're entering the No Man's Sky universe. And that, like, I don't know.
I'm going to bring something up. Oh, there's my Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm going to bring something up real quick. Oh, man. I'm going to have to freaking find it all over again. Okay. Oh, it was in my last video yesterday. I don't think I have the, I don't have the window open anymore. But it was in my last video yesterday about a guy who found on the PC version a hidden game mode called ambient mode.
Ambient, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it's where you can pretty much just switch planets at will without even getting your ship or anything. You just switch an entire system and just keep going through planets. You could also flip through the songs that are part of the soundtrack of the game, right? And he didn't understand why it existed, and he thought to himself, maybe this is for the devs to look at the game, look at the planets, and things like that. But now that we're sitting here talking about the topic, what if ambient mode is just exactly what I've been saying? Like, maybe the whole entire game cannot be VR, but maybe ambient mode is being developed to be VR mode, to where it's not part of the game, but it's going to be, optimized for, the frames per second needed. And it's just a way for you to experience different worlds and be able to use VR that way. Maybe that's what ambient mode is.
I've mentioned a few times before on the show that that I would imagine if they ever implemented VR, that it would be a lot like Gran Turismo, where the main portion of the game is played the standard way, but there's a VR tour mode that's limited, but gives you the VR experience. And that would make a lot of sense, Cobra.
That fits scarily well.
I don't know. I hate to add to the VR fire because I'm in the opinion that that's not what we're dealing with here. But when I think about that, it's just like, we got Gus just joining us. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. I just got home, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Sorry about that. How are you all guys doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing great.
We are insane.
Yes, we are very insane.
No idea what we're talking about either.
So yeah, you're right. That's true. That's very true. So we're talking about the Where site and how a lot of people are thinking that it's trying to insinuate multiplayer, or it's trying to insinuate VR. What is your opinion on Where and VR?
I haven't checked the site yet, but I think that my money will be on multiplayer. At least I think that that's the next step that No Man's Sky is going to take, because they have already put in the foundation with everything regarding how No Man's Sky so far works. They have like the 16 players who can interact with each other's spectrals and whatnot. So I guess the next logical step is to just become, well, full multiplayer.
Even Gus here said next step. I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. So I don't know.
In the chat, a lot of people are talking about, I guess, basically they want the game to feel more alive through things like cities and more, I guess, more intelligent NPCs. So like, yeah,
I'd love that too. I remember we had talked about that in the previous Subcast, I think, at least the one I was on last time, and I remember saying that even though I'd love that to happen, I think it will require some drastic rework into how the NPCs function in the game currently. Oh, yeah. We could maybe get that in this update now, but I don't know. I don't think it's as high a priority as.
Well, they've got the procedural cities developer, right? Cobra always talks about it. They've got him. I mean, he's got to be doing something.
Say again. Who is that guy?
So they hired a developer that used to work on Fable or something, doing procedural cities.
Ooh, okay, all right. Okay, now I have faith again.
We got a new caller. We got Jacob. Jacob, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Jacob.
Jacob.
Jakey.
The Corvax have abducted him.
He's joined the Convergence. Man, we missed him. Oh, well.
Either the Corvax abducted him, the Viking have killed him, or the Gek have sold him.
I'll take one more caller, and wow, we've almost gone 2 hours.
Hey, Cobra, can I feel free to make a connection soon?
Sure, buddy. Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so I was just thinking about this because where they added Elon Musk on their post. So the Myriad 70 website talks about setting up these satellites, and there's also like corrupted data every place, in all these places except Beijing, which is where is based out of. And Where talks about it's called Where Tech Cloud. Okay, and Elon Musk got authorization to send up a network of satellites to offer, internet to people in places where they don't have the landline connections, but like fast internet, like gigabit internet via satellite. He's got some kind of new technology that does that. And the Where website talks about massive online multiplayer. So what if the whole thing is actually just that Sean Murray back in the day had a discussion with Elon Musk. He was working on this project, and Elon Musk's company, the satellite that he's launching, is going to help bring No Man's Sky to a massively online multiplayer way by doing cloud-based multiplayer server via Elon Musk satellites that he's launching,
Well, you do know what Myriad specialized in, right? They send satellites up into space, too.
Right. The whole website is about launching satellites into space. Yeah. Yep. So I don't know why that hit me all of a sudden. Maybe I read an article earlier about the Iridium thing, but that would make sense. So maybe that's how they're going to serve us multiplayer, is through a cloud-based server powered by Elon Musk satellite.
Can we start calling it MMO Man Sky?
Liquid Duck is asking if Where did any more things this weekend. Yeah, it was like last night. they gave away some more copies of games. And do we know what games they gave away?
I'm sorry. I saw that, but I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, Gold and Silver. Sean Murray did meet with Elon Musk, and who was that rapper? Who's that dude?
Kanye West.
He was looking for Kanye West, but he wasn't there.
Wait, what? No, Kanye West was looking for Sean. They wanted to meet with Sean, but then Elon Musk said, "Hey, come to SpaceX," and Sean totally gave Kanye West the cold shoulder and went with Elon Musk. It was a pretty funny story.
Wait, that really happened?
Yeah. But I don't think it happened on purpose. They were probably like, "Oh, we're supposed to meet up with Kanye, but here's Elon. Let's go with Elon."
He also met with Steven Spielberg, and he made the announcement of No Man's Sky Next on the day that Ready Player One released.
Oh wow.
Dun, dun, dun,
shut up! Shut up!
Dun, dun.
Oh man, this
boy got that Reynolds rap all day.
I honestly thought this was like a story that you guys were talking about right now. I didn't thought it was real.
Yeah, right. Look, Waking Titan is less active than the first time around, right? Yeah. And there is more excitement and confusion this time with Waking Titan, with it being less active. Like there's just more of a puzzle because
it's more meta.
Yeah.
You see, the Titan this time is not waking up; he's just groggy.
And everyone, we're all certain too that it's connected to No Man's Sky, so there's no reservation. We're going all in.
Yeah,
the biggest one yet.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the Atlas symbol being the main logo for this update?
What's
so
that?
You know how every update has a logo.
Oh yeah,
so Pathfinder was the base.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that. A lot of people were trying to tell me that it was placeholder. I don't think it's placeholder.
No way.
If it was placeholder, it would have changed long ago. I think. If it's still up there, then after so long, it's definitely not a placeholder. I think.
Well, so for me, I saw that and I straight away was like, well, Atlas lore is definitely going to be the main thing.
Oh yeah.
And I had two theories about it. So because it was glowing red, I was thinking it's either going to be the Atlas turns against us and becomes more of a villain trying to hunt us down in the simulation. It kind of looks like it's glowing angrily, right?
Yes. Where is actually attacking the Atlas right now? Right now.
That'd be sad.
Okay.
I don't know.
It looks angry, right?
Go type in here. We'll type in Loop 16 on the Waking Titan console.
It's asking for help.
Yeah, it's asking for help. Watch this.
And Myriad is disconnecting data connections to the Atlas, except for the one that links where to the Atlas.
So the other theory I had about it being red and glowing like that was if it wasn't angry, then maybe it's breaking down and falling apart, and that could make so much sense if it's being attacked by wear. And I also thought if it does break down and the simulation falls apart, that could explain lore-wise how we get a big overhaul revamp to the game, because we escape the simulation and make it into the quotes real world kind of thing.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds. I like this one much better than the Atlas turning on us. I don't know. I kind of like No Man's Sky in this kind of niche position when it's a much more peaceful game compared to what is usually on offer outside in the games industry. So if they went for a much more war-like situation, I don't know. That would kind of upset me, to be honest.
Well, I think Hello Games is all about giving you options. There's a lot of different types of players that are interested in No Man's Sky for a lot of different kinds of reasons. And so you'd probably have the choice. If you don't want to play in a conflict scenario like that, you probably wouldn't have to. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who, ever since multiplayer has been out, still have no care of running into anyone else. They like playing alone.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I know a lot of people like that. You send me portal codes, but they don't really want any interaction with me. They'll leave me their portal codes and say, "Yeah, come by and drop off a comm but that's it. They're not going to meet me or anything."
Yeah, but what I think is different here is that it mostly has to do with the central storyline of the game. it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe they can go the same way that they implemented the new storyline once Atlas Rises commenced, but it still like was the central focus of the entire update. And if they went like for a more warlike update in this one with the Atlas turning against us, I think like it kind of like runs against like the core theme of exploration. I mean, it would still be possible to like explore and everything, but the core
like for example, if you look at the description that's on Amazon or GameStop's like pre-order website for No Man's Sky Next, if you look at the description, it talks about like who will you be, and it talks about everybody being in the same galaxy and that there being this call to the center. But it also says, will you be an explorer and travel outside of the known galaxy or the known space? So I think you're going to get to choose. And I think that people who want to be explorers and continue to travel throughout the galaxy can, and that there's not going to be a necessity to work to, like, I think there's going to be a few different ways to play. And one of the ways is going to be to go to the center and follow this particular storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't that be...
Wait, go to the center. Oh, so there will be like more story for the people who actually do go to the center and cross to another galaxy or something. That would be cool.
And as an explorer, wouldn't that be like...
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, that would make it so interesting, right? If you knew this large, like, you know, all this crazy stuff's happening, right, throughout the universe of the galaxy, but you're just an explorer, but actions of other players maybe are sort of affecting what's going on, and it changes what you're like discovering, or like it influences, you know, what you find. Like that
would be crazy.
Yeah. I think it would be cool. Like if you was an explorer, obviously it would probably lower your stats in, say, for instance, mining or you know, trading, for instance. But if you found someone that was an actual trader, that, you know, chose from the beginning, I'm going to be a trader and be in with the money. If you managed to find someone that was more mineral or more exploration resources, they might have some information that you could acquire. You might need some material that they have because they're a trader themselves. So you obviously can look at it. That would be interesting.
Yeah,
well, and it also talks in the description about how your choices matter and that there's consequences for what choices you make. And like Hidden Jew Agenda said earlier, everybody is in one galaxy. If you look at the language, it says every player is in the same galaxy. Well, that's not true right now. There's people in Eisentime or Buttledanger or, you know, Calypso or whatever. They're all in different galaxies.
You know, that could be that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
I'll wait till you go ahead.
Well, that was pretty much it. I was just finishing the point. Is that they may eliminate the different universes altogether.
Well, I was going to say that right now, even though they have different names for the different universes, galaxies, I don't know that they're actually different. I think that they're the same galaxy. Just each time you make a choice, and then you have a consequence, and then the AI of Atlas learns from your consequences, because that's the goal of the story from my point of view. The thing is that when you think about it like that aspect, that each person is in the same place. And one of the things that confirms that for me is that the portal codes will work the same in every single galaxy. They'll take you to different planets, of course, but they still be recycled. You see what I mean? And yes, that's part of the reason is because the game is only so big and you can only have the main portal. But if you're pretending that you're from the simulation, from a simulation point of view, that would make excellent sense as well. Because you're in one galaxy, I'm in one galaxy, but it's the same galaxy, but we're perceiving it different at each point in time. So everybody's bubble is seeing it differently, but it's still the same thing. And the AI is getting the information from that to build its idea that it wants to learn what its purpose is. Because I really believe that's the whole thing about the Atlas, is what is its purpose. And it's using us to do that simultaneously all in one batch. It's not like a future or past. All running at the same time.
And you remember at the end of Phase 3 of Waking Titan, we made a choice, right? We said we wanted Emily or Loop 16 to live or something along those lines. So like maybe that influenced where this update went. Like maybe if we had chosen the other thing, we would be fighting the Atlas. But since we chose to like befriend the Atlas or get on its good side, it sees us as an ally to help it. That's why it's asking us for help.
We have a new caller on the show. I'm sorry, I didn't realize he actually rejoined. Gus, Jonas. I'm sorry. How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Jonas? What about Jacob? Did you ever come on?
Yes.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? Why didn't you speak up?
Poor Jacob's just sitting there like, let me speak.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to talk. I just want to be here.
My microphone wasn't
That's
working.
a fine option too.
Jacob.
I was the one that sent you the GameStop and Amazon screenshots.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. While you're on the show, dude, I want to get your opinion. Where does it mean VR? What do you think?
It does. I think it's really obvious. To be honest.
You think so?
Yeah. Like, come on. It means VR.
Okay. All right. Wow. If it's not, what a dangerous game being played.
He sounded so confident that when he said that, I felt like ashamed that I ever believed it wasn't.
I know. So did I. That's why I was like, okay. All right.
Confirmed VR. Jacob says.
You just have to not care about it. See, it doesn't matter either way.
I agree.
We're gonna get both eventually. I have no doubt about it. Actually, like I feel that VR is definitely gonna happen later down the line because No Man's Sky is just like the perfect game for VR. It has this perfect formula that can really work with VR. You just go into your ship, you go around, you can really explore and be in the place. It's gonna work great for VR. But I still believe that multiplayer is higher on the list of things and features to get.
I think that as well. I think multiplayer is what they're really pushing for, and the VR, the whole VR thing is more about lore and getting that idea of us pulling together in that multiplayer.
So I always kind of thought multiplayer, a complete like overhaul, and the lore stuff since seeing that Atlas symbol as the logo were like the main things coming for next. I don't feel like if VR does come, I don't think there's any way that's a part of next as the update. It might come at the same time, might be alongside it, but I feel like that's going to have to be like the Xbox launch, right? It's another huge thing, but that's not content for the next update.
Yeah.
And that's just mining.
When Microsoft is going to launch VR for the Xbox, or have they already launched something of that sort? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for Microsoft, didn't mean to interrupt you. They are currently in the, I wouldn't want to say beta. I don't even know what stage of development this is in, but it's the Microsoft HoloLens, and it was that holographic like lens thing that you put on your head. You can YouTube it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I
but
remember the presentation
a
with
demo
Mark
of
Carey.
Minecraft.
The dev kits are out.
cool.
So
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the only VR thing I know of that they're doing.
Yeah, I think that when Microsoft actually gets like the VR technology and pushes it out to people, that's when No Man's Sky is gonna like go at the same time for VR and multiplayer. But I think before that, if the next update releases before that, then it's gonna be just multiplayer. Also, I love that bird. Who has the bird?
Well, on one of the tech magazines I read, they talked to Microsoft about their VR and what they were planning on doing, and they said that they weren't even anywhere near close until around 2019. Now, if they have a third party, maybe they're just being really quiet about it, and that 2019 is like the furthest date out, and they could do it earlier. But I kind of think the way Microsoft is, I agree with Cobra. They like to shoot their own horn a lot. They like to get it out there and get people involved and be interested in something. That's their
Especially
marketing.
where they are right now.
Hey guys, I want to apologize. It's my headset. It has 4 MEMS mics on it, and it's really sensitive. And it could probably hear MZK fart from America. Because that bird that you're hearing, that bird is like 300 yards from me. And I don't know how you're hearing that thing. But
it's okay.
It's okay. It's the real morning cast.
There is an old man walking with a shopping cart right now, and you can probably hear him breathing. So I apologize.
No, it's okay. I love him. I don't know if the rest of the chat loves him, but I appreciate him. I will protect him, and I hope he's there with us for the rest of the time.
Yeah, me too, because that bird is in Latin America at this point, and you're still hearing it. I don't. Oh my god.
So the Where account, the one that was doing all the cryptic hexadecimal tweets, not the one that's tweeting at Elon Musk, but there's 2 Where Twitter accounts.
Right.
One is W9RPQ45E. Well, that account is only following 4 people. And one of the people, Ginger, seems to be associated with Allison Smith. I checked him. And then there's another person called the Monotonist. And he's a game developer, VR enthusiast. So he's got a pin tweet here from March 10th saying, here's the beginning of a little project of mine. The weird and cryptic parts of games, often in the form of Easter eggs, or ARGs, have been a passionate interest of mine for a long time. Is my attempt to inspire interest and make more accessible to everybody. So I just find it weird that the account, which you wouldn't think would just be following random people, is following this VR guy.
So there are too many links for this not to be coming at some point, whether it's part of this update or along with it or later. Like, they can't have done all of this and not realized people are going to think VR is coming.
Yeah,
there's just no way, man.
Yeah, I'd like everyone who makes speculation videos on what's going to be in the update always forgets that landing on asteroids might be in the update, because there's actually an upgrade you can get for your ship, and it basically says helps mining in asteroids or something like that. So yeah, asteroid mining and / landing will probably be in this update as well.
I mean, we already kind of have asteroid mining by just blowing them to bits, which is the best kind of mining available. But yeah, that would be actually pretty cool, especially if there are new asteroids that are really big enough so you can create space bases inside asteroids. That would be pretty cool, but I don't think there are plans for that. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't.
Yeah, but it's in a description of a upgrade to your spaceship, so really, I bet it will be in the update. I really do.
This is what I love about speculation. We could be talking about VR, but when the update comes out, it could be something completely different that we would never have even expected.
So I don't think VR's got anything to do with the update. I think it's going to be a separate thing. Because they've said that Next is coming daily Xbox as well, and there's no VR. I don't think it's going to be part of the next update patch. But I do think it's something else that's also coming.
Can you hear me?
I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, Jonas.
Awesome. Hello.
Hey, Jonas, how you doing, bud? Thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, I'm happy I finally got it working now. I was having trouble with my mic settings or something really weird.
Well, it's good to have you on now. It's really good. So have you been listening to the craziness that we call a show here?
Yeah, it's about VR and mostly about VR, actually.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Well, since we've been on the topic for 2 hours, what do you think? What's your opinion on the Where site? Is it trying to tell us VR is coming?
I think VR is coming. It's the ARG made it clear, and it's all connected. It's coming. I feel it's coming. I feel like it's coming.
Hmm.
It's just all connected to it, you know.
Cobra doesn't want VR in No Man's Sky.
No, I do. I do. I just.
He does want it.
I do want it. I want it so bad. You have no idea. It's
he
the
just
thing
doesn't
is.
want to be disappointed. That's all.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think that's the message they're trying to relay to us. Because this technology is so far beyond what we would call VR, and would be a great segue into reason how we got into the universe of No Man's Sky inside the simulation. I want VR. I really do. I'm so afraid. I really am afraid that this whole VR thing, it's caught on like a wildfire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And what if, guys, let's talk about this as we end the show here. What if Next comes out and everybody's super hyped for VR? What if it's not there? Then what?
Yeah, I'm scared.
Like I said earlier,
I'm scared for that too. Like the hype train and then
riot.
Then I'll just be like, oh, there's no VR, okay.
Yeah, see, all of us on this call have we have the emotional fortitude to be wrong. There are people out there where if you speculate and it doesn't show up, they'll cry, they'll crawl in a hole, they'll sleep under their blanket with a nightlight, and then they'll go to your YouTube channel and comment, "You lied to me." But all of us, like, we're okay. Like, right? Like if it's not there, like,
can I say something?
Go ahead, buddy.
For the one thing I'm scared of is Hello Games is doing such a good job now with the updates and stuff, and if there's no VR, I'm afraid they're gonna hate on No Man's Sky again, and they all want that VR, and if it's not there, then.
But that's why I think that if there's no VR, it's going to be a massive multiplayer, so that people won't be. There'll be a few people upset. There's always going to be people upset. That's just the way life is. You're not going to make 100% people happy. But if they give something like an excellent multiplayer that everybody's been asking for over and over and over, I've heard more people asking for multiplayer than I have VR. Okay, there are people out there who want VR, but they also want multiplayer. So I think if you're going to roll the dice, it would be that they're going to give you this massive update that's going to just blow you out of the water, and then the VR will come later.
I agree.
You guys are right. VR is going to come first, and multiplayer is going to come later.
It could be both.
It could be both, totally.
This is the biggest update so far, so it could be both. Big shout out to Natalie in the chat for holding down, with the band hammer. Hopefully she hasn't had to use it, but big shout out to Natalie in the chat who reminded me of something very, very super important when we're talking about this multiplayer, when we're talking about this VR. Carpets and curtains, guys. That's what we're getting in the update. We're getting carpets and curtains for our bases. Keep that in front of VR.
If there's no carpets, I will rage and I will install no.
You're more than welcome to come yell at me on my channel if there's no carpets or curtains, buddy.
I've got two questions for
Aaron
here.
Is on a call. Aaron's going to be our last caller, and he's going to be our last caller. We're going to go ahead and end it because we're going to be back in not too long. We're going to be back at 10 o'clock tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to do this all over again. But maybe we won't be talking about VR. Maybe we'll be talking about something completely different. But maybe you guys will direct it right back to VR. I don't know. But I would like to open up the conversation about update speculation and kind of leave multiplayer and VR out. It's not going to happen. I'm not even going to try. Forget it. Forget I said anything.
Asteroid mining. I bet. Asteroid mining and landing on asteroids will come in one before.
The overhaul and the lore stuff is what I'm actually excited about. Like, I'm not too bothered about VR or multiplayer. I just feel like they've hinted at that enough.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot more lore and story in this update. Aaron, how you doing, man? It's been so long since I had a chance to talk to you, dude.
I know it. And, I'm an avid listener. I always listen to your podcasts and stuff. And this whole podcast has been awesome. Just great listening to all the people on here, giving their ideas. I mean, it's really been fun. But I've been keeping silent, listening to different things. But I have an opinion on, the VR. And it's been said that, it doesn't seem like that's a real device and that it can't truly, be an actual thing. And I want to sort of like verify that, because the impossibility of being able to connect to do what it is saying that it's supposed to do, you know, reading your thoughts and sending you into that dream world. And some people think, well, maybe there's a possibility that it could be done. But from a technical standpoint, you know, I've looked at that stuff. I've researched it. I've learned all kinds of things. I mean, I'm into AI. I work on that stuff myself. And I learned about the brain and how it's hooked up, and the uniqueness of neurons, and the different, how different minds are connected. And man, the type of equipment to just do a small amount of reading of your thoughts is monstrous. I mean, you have to have all kinds of equipment just to be able to generally map your brain in order to do basic things. So we are so far away from VR as reality, where it takes us to a dream state like that, the Wear product. We're so far away from that you know, it's simply for the lore's sake. It's simply to get our attention. There's no way it can be anything else, you know. And I just wanted to make that statement. You want to believe it's true, but when you get down to the technical parts of it, it can't be true. I mean, it's just not possible yet. No way.
There'd be so many people interested in that in the science field that you would need to believe.
Well,
Maybe
people are
I'll-
working on it all the time. I mean, there are scientists who are working on this stuff continuously. It's just not there. It's nowhere near it.
I don't think. See, that's my arguing point, that this can't. You know, this technology really doesn't exist, at least not in the form that they're showing. But I don't think that people think that this technology is actually what Hello Games is about to release. I think that they think this is a hint to VR. I think that's what everybody who's saying VR is saying. Okay, this device doesn't exist, but this is a hint to us getting VR.
And the logo literally saying VR.
Yeah, I totally believe in VR. That it's coming.
Does anybody
for
think
No Man's
that
Sky.
the pictures that Sean Murray sent, like Engadget and stuff like that, are like from 1.3? Like, I don't even think those pictures are
They're
even
not
like
new.
what is in the next update.
They're not new. There's no way they're new. No.
No.
I've seen the freighter one before for sure.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't seem new. I pictured that like Sean Murray like sent that off, and he's like eating a giant jar of like cheesy poofs, and he's like laughing at the reaction to the pictures, and
So
in his
if we-
mind he's
what
like
pictures?
these are from 1.3.
If
Wait,
we were
wait.
going to get a
What pictures?
screenshot, if we were going to get a screenshot from the new update, there is no way it would be going out to news articles first. It would 100% be coming out to us through Waking Titan. There's no way that like they'd give that clue out to some random news article first. No
I
way.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
That about Sky E3?
We're all a part of an exclusive club.
Yes.
No Man's Sky E3 is like a real possibility for Xbox this time instead of Sony, right? Like that's
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah,
genuinely
and-
might happen. Like that'd be so cool.
They're gonna push it, okay? But the thing
Spencer's
is,
beat it, right? So they're definitely on like fully behind it.
right. Hello, oh yeah, they are 100% behind this game, man. Strong. I mean, really strong. It's like it's kind of scary because only us in the community. We're a small cult following of No Man's Sky, right? The rest of the gaming world hates this game, right?
Yes.
They
Yes.
hate this game.
Yes.
So for Microsoft to be pushing this game as if it was like, you know, the bee's knees of gaming. You know, it's like, hey, we're getting this. We're getting this, guys.
Yeah,
Check
like-
this out. It's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Aren't they a little afraid to say? I mean, aren't they a little afraid to say that? It's like, you know, and they're going to review the game. Like I think somebody was talking about somewhere. They have to review this game if they're going to be putting it on their system. So Microsoft knows what's in next. They know.
I
so
agree.
I think Microsoft feels confident
Oh,
in
boy.
advertising this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If that's at E3, it'll be a total graphics overhaul. They'll show us everything.
And you know what really makes me happy about this whole thing, by the way, is that I went on 505 Games Twitter whenever the next news first dropped, and people were hating on No Man's Sky, and 505 was defending their choice to publish the game or distribute the game. And one, that just goes to show the difference in terms of the support between 505 Games and Microsoft versus how PlayStation handled it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because the president of Sony, when No Man's Sky, and I'm not saying that all the hate was okay. There were some clear problems that when the first game launched that I think we can all agree that should have been addressed in a developer video, without a doubt. But the head president of Sony came out probably about 2 or 3 weeks after, and he was like, Hello Games should have been handling their PR strategies a lot better. He was giving them flack, and I'm like,
Shuhei, because I'm a fan of PlayStation, but I remember that, and I'm like, they didn't do a good job, and if their deal was for Sony to sort of be distributor and marketing, they threw Hello Games under the bus. But whatever happened at release, they were compliant in it as well. So it was weird how they just were hands off and just they kind of let that happen like that way. So that was
and like Cobra said, like Xbox and 505 Games, at the very least Xbox, they know what's happening here. Like they know what we're about to get because they're putting their name and reputation on the line. It's coming out on the most powerful game console available today in 4K and HDR. Like they know about the release in 2016, about the flack, the bad publicity. They know about it, and they're overlooking all that to bring this game to their console. Like I don't think that we're excited enough for this update, to be honest.
I can't wait for it. You just got me excited even more.
Cobra, are you looking at the screenshot album that Sean Murray shared ages ago?
Yeah.
Oh, that was when I was 100% sure that this update was going to be a big overhaul. The fact that he was sharing that and he's like on board with the railroad overhaul and stuff like that, like that's obviously something they want to aim for, or at least appreciate.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Me either.
Or he's like saying, I love these pictures. This is just a shadow of like what's to come.
Oh yeah, like wait till you see what we can actually do. It's gonna be crazy.
You think Ray Rod's got some cool stuff going on right now? Give us a few months,
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Tinfoil hats.
Yeah, just
and guys,
let the
that was coming from the landing on asteroids and certainty of VR guy. So that's how we know we're definitely tinfoiling a little too hard. My apologies.
Yeah. Let's just calm down and let the excitement just build up.
I have to go now. I don't know. I'll probably be in the chat tonight, but I probably won't call in so other people have a chance to call in. I just wanted you guys to know I did do the research on the Wispy Well and the 5 community managers on the Where Discord and where they came from and how they're connected and everything. So if you decide anybody wants to know that, they can hit me up on Discord or on one of my streams.
Wispy Will actually commented on my video from last night and said that he was flattered, but he's just a member of our community and nobody to look at. But he's amazing, so he's worth looking at. So
he's got some cool videos, No Man's Sky videos. I shared one on my Discord. I will be streaming No Man's Sky today somewhere around 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So anybody wants to talk about stuff then too, they can come on or come into my party on PS4 if they want. But I gotta go now, and thanks for having me. I have so much fun with the ARG. Just remember, ARG, alternate reality game. Alternate reality.
Carpets and curtains.
Yes, and it's also to pull in all the other pieces. It's the leftover pieces that you don't find anywhere else, and they pull them in to make sense of the lore. So you guys all have a great day, and I'll try to get to the chat this evening after my stream, all right?
All right, sounds good, Grammy. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Look, I've just found a picture, and look, Blaze Javelin, Drill Array Theta, or however you say it, improves the multi-tools Blaze Javelin weapon mode mining capability by a large amount, powerful enough to mine an asteroid should the user ever stand upon one.
Ooh.
That is a good question.
I have
so many little teasers.
I remember hearing about that a while back. Yeah.
Can I just say, like, how awesome is it that we all, like, right now, today, love the game as it is? And we know we're about to get whatever actually happens is going to be incredible. Like,
I love the game.
Yeah.
I'm just, like,
Look, okay, guys, check this out. Keep this in your mind today. And just think about this. 2 years. It's almost been 2 years. And we're still doing the subcast where we're getting together. We're talking about this game as if we're waiting for it to come out. You know, the excitement that we had from pre-release. 2 years later, we're still getting together and just, I don't know, man. I've never seen a game do this to a community before, to where we could actually have a subcast and talk about a darn game that's been out for 2 years.
That's why we have the best community in gaming, hands down.
That's right. Hands down, buddy.
That's it.
We do have the best community in gaming.
The only thing is, when I like talk about No Man's Sky with my in real life friends, they say like, "Oh, No Man's Sky sucks. No Man's Sky this. No Man's Sky that." And only you guys and the community is like loving the game, and that's so amazing about it.
I think my brother thinks I'm
we're
crazy.
working together, and we're so passionate about No Man's Sky, and that's what I love about this community.
I think I have a mental sickness where I just like things that people hate. Like, I saw The Last Jedi 3 times.
I was going to tell you guys.
Secretly a big Twilight fan.
Bro.
I remember playing No Man's.
Okay. Guys,
I was just going to say real quick. I remember playing No Man's Sky on launch night, and I named my. I was just going to tell you this quick. I think this is what makes the game awesome. That he's one of the people just said he talks to his real life friends, and they just don't get it. Is on the first planet I landed on, started on, I flew around. I'm still in Euclid or whatever that is, and I decided, I'm like, I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to make my way back to that first planet. I'm going to see if it's still there, even though they've reset it. And I spent months. It felt like forever trying to make my way back there. And when I finally did, the planet was completely different, but I had named it. And I'm like, wow, because of the reset. But I'm like, this is where it started. And it's just, there's something magical about this game. It's crazy.
Recently there was a person I met on Twitter that they hadn't been able to play the game in almost 600 days. And when they finally got their hands on it, they went to stream it on Twitch, and I went to their Twitch stream. And the sole purpose of me watching that Twitch stream was to relive the moment that you've just spent the last hour trying to get the resources to be able to take your ship off for the first time. Yeah. And just to see the reaction or to try to relive the feeling that I had the first time I left the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's something that, like, the way I can compare it is when Fallout 3, when you step out of the vault and you see this giant wasteland in front of you, it's like, wow, you're never going to get that again. And it's just something that cool.
And now with it coming to Xbox and with different streamers out there and YouTubers on Xbox, we're going to get to relive that experience through them again.
And
it's
just
such a crazy feeling.
Orion Me is telling me to check Discord. Which one? What Discord? And why? I don't like going to Discord. Why? What's going on in Discord?
Cobra.
Yes, sir.
If the update comes out on the 2-year anniversary of the game, that means they would have spent the same amount of time on this update as they would have spent on 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 combined. So next might be the same size as all of the updates we've got so far combined.
Right, and just imagine this, Jacob. What if there was a group of them working on this update that we're getting ever since the game was launched?
That'd be cool. Oh. But look, in the Skype chat, there's a link to the hint to asteroid landing. Okay.
Yeah, we've seen that a while back. I just forgot about it. Yeah, I remember hearing that. When did we get that? Was it after Atlas Rises or before?
After.
It was after Pathfinder.
Yeah. Because I remember when we made when we got all that combat info that we thought was going to be in, there's a nice pic for me. My Discord. Oh, I'm in the wrong computer. I don't even know how to log in to my Discord from here. I'll check it as soon as we get off the call here.
I'll go check it for you, Cobra.
Okay.
Real quick, y'all, did you see what happened on the Where Discord yesterday?
The giveaways?
Yo, so also they mentioned Where claims they're gonna be at PAX East. So and they also say that a new site is launching soon.
Yeah, an English site. Yeah.
They also asked if anyone saw their private demo at GDC on the survey.
Yeah, so there's a potential that there could be a live drop at PAX East. So,
wait, who says that?
No, they're just saying they're gonna be at PAX East.
Oh,
Where?
Okay.
Where did?
Well, they said that
They want to meet.
I've been talking. I'm not even know if I'm allowed to say this, and I really don't care because they're procrastinating on giving me the prizes to give away. But anyways, Allison Smith was at GDC. I know that for a fact because he told me he couldn't give me the package to do the giveaway until after he came back from GDC. And on that survey, it says, "Did you see our demo at the GDC?" So I wonder if there was something that Allison Smith did with Where at the GDC. And if they did, I want to know it.
Oh, that's mysterious.
Did Emily ever mention something about, or somewhere in Waking Titan it was mentioned about the next phase, something to do with like blurring the lines between reality and fiction even more?
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing something like that, and this whole Where Tech thing, like they've done it looks
that.
like they're trying so hard to make it seem so real that even though we know it's the ARG, there's bits of it that we're like, no, but some of this has to be kind of real, right? Like, like they've definitely done that, like blurring the lines of reality and fiction things so well.
Even though we know that it's part of the ARG and this device has got to be fake, we're still sitting here debating whether this is going to be VR or not. That's crazy.
Hey, Cobra, I didn't really see anything that stood out to me on your Discord.
All right, I'll check it as soon as I get off of here. It might be a private message.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Just imagine like a new device, like VR, but like you have the six senses, like hearing, feeling, and like all that into the virtual world. Like you can feel and smell in No Man's Sky. Just imagine that.
That would be amazing, dude.
Right now. That would be insane.
So that's actually
like anime.
That's exactly what Where is advertising.
Oh my god.
That's what they're advertising. Guys,
but it's not real.
Yeah. Can I ask 2 questions before you close off the stream, Cobra?
Sure, buddy.
So this is for everyone in the call, but how big do you think the multiplayer? How expansive do you think the multiplayer be in the update? And then, if you had the chance to choose, would you choose No Man's Sky on mobile on the go, like on your phone or on the Nintendo Switch, or would you choose it for VR?
Okay, so the first part of your question, for the first part of your question, I think it's going to be the multiplayer is going to be extensive. I think we're going to have hub integration, and I also think that there's going to be an app that's going to sort of help us with connectivity with the community. I think there's going to be an app. I think that's what Where is. So with that, the second question was, would I choose playing No Man's Sky on the go or VR? I would probably have to say VR.
Definitely VR.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm going to put this out there. If No Man's Sky gets this update and there's VR in it, I will be saving my money and buying a VR headset.
Buy one now. They're great.
Yeah. It's on sale right now for $200. I mean, don't buy it just for like in case No Man's Sky has VR, but there's a lot of really great games in VR already that are really fun to play, and it's only $200.
Yeah, it's really good. Buy it.
Buy it now, and then they do actually release some weird Where Tech VR that's different.
Like I mentioned earlier, because of my partial blindness, some games wouldn't really work. That's why I said if No Man's Sky gets the update. get VR.
Yeah, I will too. That'll be when I do buy it. All right, guys, we're gonna be back again in about 7 hours to do another long show. So I'm gonna. I've got to do some editing on some videos, and I got to record a different video. So I'm gonna be busy. I'll be around. I'll be here at the computer, and I'll be doing some work. So if you guys want to, tweet at me or whatever, I'll be here.
Cobra, installed that bucket.
All right. Thank you.
What was that? Somebody asking a question?
Have you installed that bucket underneath your seat yet?
No. I'll use this cup.
Oh.
Before we all jump off, I just want to say, LPlays, keep up the positivity on your channel. I always smile watching your videos.
Me too.
You got great content. So I really appreciate what you do. It's really good. Yeah. And I like your channel, man. So just wanted to throw that out there.
You can't see me, but I promise I'm blushing right now. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
You can't watch an LPlays video without smiling. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's like
my
you're smiling
dog could
for
die, and I would still smile watching his video while tears run down my face.
Yeah.
What gets me is the intro.
You guys are the best.
Me every time.
Good vibes.
Maybe let me give it a try. Hi guys, LPlays back. I can't even do it, man. I can't get that excitement.
Do it.
I've changed it recently.
LPlays, do it for us right here.
LPlays back once again for some more No Man's Sky and our beautiful space sad adventures.
Now LPlays, why don't you go ahead? LPlays, go ahead and see us out. Like, give us an outro.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining. The No Man's Sky community is the best community, and the Cobras especially. Take care, guys, and peace.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I will see you guys in 7 hours.
See you.
Cobra, I posted some ambient mode gameplay in the chat, just so you know. Also,
you went in and did it?
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, do you think that could be set up for VR?
No. Like the ambient mode. I don't think ambient mode would be VR.
No?
I don't think it'll be implemented in the update either.
Oh, okay. All right.
It just seems like a development thing.
Well, I'm going to go check it out. Did you tweet it at me?
No, it's in the Skype messages.
I'll tweet it at me. I'll retweet you.
Oh, okay.
All right, buddy. All right, guys. Thank you for coming out to the show on Twitch. Listen to us on Stitcher. You guys on YouTube. Everybody who called in. What a great show, man. I just want to thank everybody. That was an amazing show. Crazy, but amazing.
Yeah, probably one of
your
longest.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Good.
All right, everyone. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you guys tonight.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
It was a lot of fun.
All right. Bye, everybody.
We are the mystery hiding in plain sight. You will find us.
Hey guys, my name is Emily.
If you're curious enough, find us.
I'm here because I got involved with what looks like a giant puzzle called Waking Titan.
If you're bold enough, find us.
So this whole thing kind of began with a website called project-wt.com. And when you go to the website, it was this map of radio stations across the world.
Sometimes you hear something that sticks in your mind.
The Moscow radio station was totally corrupt.
You'll wonder about it in your quiet moments.
Cryptic phone call.
A question without an answer.
Hidden message.
A puzzle you can't solve.
Secret memory.
You followed our clues and solved it all.
So someone was clearly watching us.
But you were
The Atlas Foundation is dedicated to studying the nature of reality. We're on the brink of creating something truly amazing. Something that will change our understanding of reality. Something that will change our understanding of reality. Something that will change our understanding